Good morning, Macam Cabby, bright and early from Carlisle. Just about to pick up from Carlisle Airport. Oh, excuse me. Just a quick crack on, a bit of review from the Millwall game. Well, I'll say it's a slight improvement, not much, but we'll come away with a point, which you can't argue is an improvement from 2 previous defeats. Still a massive concern though, isn't it? That we're not like scoring the goals, and it's still the same. It's still the same attacking style. Oh, excuse me. Clark cutting in, it's not working because it's a crowded box. I said this for the last 2 games and there's still no changed. And it only really changed when the likes of Meander and Roberts came on in the second half and stuff, and we seemed to have just more options. We seemed that little more dangerous, that more cutting edge going forward. And yes, some will say, well, it still took us a penalty to score, but you still have to be in that position. You still have to be putting pressure on for Clark to be fouled. You know, we're putting pressure in the box. We're not in our own half. We're causing them problems, and we've got the penalty. And he took it away. He's still got to score, Jack Clark, and he's got a good penalty record, Jack Clark. So well done to the lad. But I don't know. Is it a rut we've hit, or I just can't put my finger on it. We all know it's the strikers and this and that and the other, and once again we get plenty of possession of the ball, but it's just passing left, right, left, right, left, right, and you know, not really much doing of a threat. Millwall came into the game, really the only time they really looked dangerous, I'd say, is when we equalised, and like the last 5 minutes of the game, it was practically on Millwall. But the championship table, the way I'm looking at it, you know, a lot of the fans are saying, well, we should be beating this team because they're 6th off bottom, we should be beating that team because they're 7th off bottom. Apart from the top 2 teams, every team in that division's beating everybody else. There doesn't seem to be really that much consistency apart from the top 2. Middlesbrough's took a dip in form again. I mean, look at Coventry, Norwich City, Blackburn Rovers, even Sheffield Wednesday. They got a draw against Leicester City and then the one at the weekend there against Blackburn. It's just, at the moment, the league table, apart from the top 2, just doesn't make sense. It's like everything's just been thrown into a pot, and everybody's just capable of beating everyone. We're still in 9th, but we do need to start turning the draws and the losses into wins, without a shadow of a doubt. If we're going to keep up with the top 6, like I say, forget the top 2, that's gone. We all know that's gone. We've got to keep in touch with the pack with the top 6. And I'm saying next 2 games, West Brom and Leeds. But as I've said before, every team's capable of beating anyone, say, apart from the top 2, because they're just pile driving everyone at the minute. Wouldn't credit to them. So we just need that plan B. We just need that plan B. When plan A isn't working, and I think Mowbray should bring the substitutions on early on. Do we rest Jack Clark? Do we give him a break, or do we change the way we're playing? That's the question. But something needs change, because it's just like a broken record. Teams suss us out. We've got plenty possession of the ball. The teams sit back. Let Sunderland come forward. We'll get everybody behind the ball. They won't be able to break teams down. They won't be able to break us down. Get everybody behind the ball, and we'll counter-attack Sunderland and get them on the break. That seems to be the method of attack against Sunderland at the moment. That's exactly what's going on. My signs fell off over here. And that's what they're doing. And Tony Mowbray doesn't seem to be seeing this. You know, he's just happy to watch the same style of football. You know, after 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, it ain't working. And he still isn't changing it. Still hasn't got the two up front. That's what he's got to change. And then it seems like when we're going to go down, or 2 goals down, he'd bring the subs on and try and change it his way, which is far too late. The match is practically gone by then. And why you haven't got a plan B? That's the question. Because we haven't got the depth in the squad. We haven't got the players to do that. You know, we've not replaced Stewart. We've not replaced Amad Diallo. Very, very limited with what we've got. And I still think Tony Mowbray is basically his hands are tied. And he's in no control of what players that gets brought into the club, and he's looked back at our thought like, well, you're not good enough to play in the start in the first and 11, you're not good enough to start. And I think that's what Tony Mowbray is doing. He's got years of experience, more experience than KLD and Speakman. You've got to say that. He's been around, he knows the game, and he's turning around and he's literally saying that, isn't he? He's just saying like, well, what shite have you dished us out here? You know, I kind of put all them kids on the pitch against these experienced 11 opposition sides, and you know, and he's leaving them on the bench for a reason, perhaps because he just thinks that they're not good enough. Is he right? Because when they're on the pitch, they're non-existent. Birdstow, and he needs to go back to Chelsea. A complete waste of space. Job, I don't know what's happening with him at the minute. He's another one that's like non-existent. January transfer window's coming up, that's all I can say. But it was a slight improvement, the Millwall game. Weren't much, but I was happier at full time than I was at half time when we were 1-0 down. You know, could have been worse, but we didn't, and we got a point. So on to the West Brom game. And they're saying it's going to be a tough game. Every game is a tough game in this division. You can't say West Brom's a tough game, and then we're going to walk all over Plymouth. We'll walk all over Huddersfield. That'll be an easy game against Rotherham. Because if the fans are thinking that, and if the players are thinking that, they'll not beat them teams at the bottom. Because the mentality is like, oh, well, we're not going to bother today. We've got an easy game today. That ain't going to work. And if the fans are thinking that, and the players are thinking that, well, good night Vienna, innit? You're not going to beat them teams at the bottom. We'll see what happens on Wednesday. Catch you later. Not bad for a Monday morning, I suppose. A point on the board. How were the lads? And the Newcastle game. I'll talk that in the next video. Toodaloo.